Every now and then a company will send me something truly unique and interesting to review, like this one, the Litheli Backpack Cooler that is battery operated. Today we'll unbox it, I'll set it up and charge the batteries, and we'll take it for a little trip to see if it can stand going to the grocery store and bringing back frozen food to our home without it thawing out or spoiling. And at the end, I'll come back and give you my thoughts about this pretty neat little cooler. We're one of the first to get this in the United States, and I guess that's why it came here from Hong Kong instead of the United States warehouse. So now I'm really interested to see what's inside of this container. I know what's supposed to be there, but it looks pretty big for what they're going to be sending me. We're one of the first ones, if not the first ones in the United States to receive this, so I guess that explains why this package came from Hong Kong.
He's having to take a crowbar to it. Whoa. One bar. Yep.
Well, inside the cooler right now before we leave to go get groceries, it's 86 degrees. Let's see how long it takes to get to the grocery store and what the temperature is when we get there. I also wanted to give you an idea of how loud it is because, well, maybe I should say how loud it is not. Pretty close to it, and you can still hear my voice, I'm sure. It's very, very quiet, and it's in the mode that supposedly it's going to cool it from the temperature it is right now down to below freezing in less than 20 minutes. Let's see if it actually does that. Let's see how cool this is too. Wow, 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Up here it's 11, but in the freezer part it's 0. That's really cool. You think our ice cream's going to be cold when we get home? Don't you just love it when something works the way it's supposed to? So 24 pounds, well, it sounds like a lot, but for a refrigerator freezer combo cooler like this, it's not very much weight at all. And it was easy to put in and out of the truck, and it was well, it was just a breeze, and delightful that it worked perfectly the way we wanted it to. All the ice cream was completely frozen when we got back home, and the ability of having almost like 2 zones in there where the other things were not frozen, well, that was a great thing. We could have used a powered cooler that would have done the same thing. And in fact, we have 3 of those, and they work well. But let me tell you why I think, for us anyway, for the kind of things we use it for, this is actually better. Well, the first thing you'll see is it's this direction, vertically. So if you have, I don't know, if you happen to drink wine, you can put a wine bottle in here, or 4 or 5. Another thing that's really good about this, I mentioned before, the weight. At 24 pounds, before you start putting drinks and other things in here, well, it's just not very heavy. And you've got these handles here, and it's made just like you would think it would be made, a very durable backpack. It has pockets on each side that you can put different things that you want to take with you. It has a place to keep the 12-volt DC charger, the cigarette lighter charger. That cable can go right in here, and it can charge from that as well. And it has a second slot to store the extra battery. And one of the things I worried about, because you know it is something that's a soft-sided cooler, I didn't know how quickly it was going to cool, but the technology they use, somewhere between 18 and 20 minutes, it went from 86 degrees to below freezing. One of the batteries can charge this for 4 hours, and they provide 2 batteries that you can keep them charged. So that's 8 hours of cooling just on batteries alone. The other thing you can do is there's a USB-C port on both of those external batteries, and if you need to, you can charge an iPhone or an iPad or even your laptop if you need to top things off. So there are other things you can do with that power besides just power the refrigerator unit in this. And another thing, unlike one of those that you have to carry like this and you're spread out and you're going to hurt your back, if you're a young guy and you have a strong back, you literally could put the straps on this and hike with it just like a backpack. Now, I'm probably not going to do that for 2 reasons. I don't have a good back and I'm not young. But what you saw me use it for today, it's going to become our go-to tool for going on grocery runs like that. Now, sometimes we can go to the local grocery store and it's 10 minutes away, and if we know we're coming right home, we don't have to take something like this. But our Costco, it's an hour and 10 minutes away from our home. Lynn likes several frozen things and refrigerated things from there that we buy in bulk. This is going to travel with us on that next trip. Those of you who know me know I like to give an open and honest review. Even though this video is sponsored, I'm going to tell you a couple things I wish were different. First of all, 4 hours on one battery, that's not a long time. Maybe it's long enough to go for a picnic and come back. Maybe it's long enough to go to the beach. If you put the other battery in, that's 8 hours. We have other coolers that are similar to this, much bigger, that are capable of going 36 to 48 hours. And to me, that's a weekend trip that you don't have to worry about the cooler. You do have the option of plugging this into the 12-volt outlet in your car or your van or your truck or whatever you're traveling in. But anytime you're doing that, you're always running the risk that you're going to drain the battery on your vehicle down to the point that you're going to need to get jumped off. So I wish it could keep things cool for just a little longer than it does. Also, we like to talk about, is this going to be something that's going to be reliable, something that can be with you for years to come? Well, since it hasn't even been released to the market yet, all I can do is speak to the fact that it seems to be built really, really well. But only time will tell as to whether this is going to be something that will be with you 3 or 4 years from now, or if it will stop working. And because of the fact that this is made so it can fit on your back, it's a lot smaller than a conventional cooler or freezer. Well, you're just not going to be able to get as much in it. But for trips where you're going to the beach, or for us, like if we're going to the grocery store, I think it has an adequate amount of space to store things, but you may need a little bit more, and if that's the case, there's no way to add on to this. Well, my final thoughts, I'm thinking about this and thinking back a long time ago in the 1800s, what if you were the guy that invented what is now known around here in the South as the ice box? You know, this wooden thing that's insulated, and a man would come by with a block of ice and put it in it every single day, and that ice would melt. What would that guy think about something like this? I'm thinking they would think, no way in the world, because the world is so different when you can use something like this. I say for me, add it up to another thing that's been invented in my lifetime. 10 years ago, I never would have thought that you could put a backpack on your back and hike up 3 or 4 miles and have a cold drink to drink and food that's not spoiled. I think it's an awesome option, and I do think it's going to be a successful launch and a successful product. If you have any questions about it, leave me a comment down below and ask, and I'll be glad to answer that. And as always, my name is Owen. Thanks for watching.